crosshair. Good. Do you know where my microphone is?
Yeah, check that box up there.
Cerveza cristal.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Law and Murders podcast. I'm AJ.
I hope you guys like that 1 minute and 20 seconds of nonsense.
Yeah, that was the whole show right there. So
I
if you
put a lot of
missed it,
thought into that.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Holy.
tonight. See you
I
later.
will play that opening video later on again for anyone that missed it. We'll play it like at the end or something.
Okay.
But welcome back to the Law and Murders podcast. I'm AJ, joined here by my Bombad Batchers of Jamie and Matt. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
well.
Doing well.
Doing well.
I'm completely thrown for a loop with that intro,
Yeah.
but
It was a lot. It was a lot.
that was a lot. Oh my
It
god, that
was.
was so good though.
Hey.
So it was a masterpiece.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely.
We're joined here by one of our favorite guests from the other side of the world, Hannah from the Raeside.
Hello.
How's it going, Hannah?
G'day there. It's great to be here. Ready? I'm ready for the banter. It's going to be
Oh,
juicy.
yeah.
I am ready.
Yeah, the Bad Batch themselves had great banter in this episode, and I
Yes,
think
they
we're gonna have
did.
some great banter. So.
Would you say it was juicy?
Juicy banter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
I don't
Are
know.
you referring back to
Tasty.
the time? Are you referring back to the time that Hannah called Bo-Katan a saucy lady?
I like saucy lady.
Like-
that has
Saucy
stuck with
lady.
me. That has stuck
Well,
with me.
it's a good description.
Yeah.
I don't know
Or
why I
less.
describe everything to do with their moisture content. I don't know why that's like a thing.
I do too. I don't know
I'm
why.
going for. I don't know.
I don't know.
Spicy,
Oh, so
saucy,
good.
You
juicy,
should call it like rich at least.
rich.
Yeah.
But speaking of rich, we have a question for you, Hannah. A couple questions probably, but to kick
Oh,
things
yay.
off.
Yeah.
So a ways back, Jamie, I don't know if you want to ask the question actually, because you got a big kick
No,
out of
this
this
is-
one.
Oh,
no.
a ways back. This is maybe like a few weeks ago, not really that long ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There we go.
Obviously Taylor Swift has been touring the world, and you were able to go to the concert in Australia. And
Yeah.
I got the biggest kick out of your video that you posted while you were waiting for the show to start. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was really funny because genuinely it was the most craziest week because it was Bad Batch premiere. I was like covering the premiere, doing all the videos around it, and then like that was the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I was seeing Taylor on the Saturday, and it was just a crazy week. And even by the time I got to Taylor, I was like so tired from Bad Batch of the week of Bad Batch, but obviously was so stoked to see Taylor. And then before we left to go to the concert, me and my girlfriend, I was like, hey, can you be like a cameraman for me for this? Like, I just got to do this one skit. I just got to do this one bit. And it's going to take like 2 seconds. And I actually have so much behind the scenes video of it, of me trying to get this clip of me watching Bad Batch in the stands of Taylor Swift. Because as we were trying to do it, I don't know what you guys call it, but it's that thing where the crowd does a wave, like around the
wave.
stadium. Like
Just
The
wave.
wave.
We
Yeah.
call it the wave.
the wave. Yeah.
Everyone
yeah.
calls it the wave.
Yeah. So for some reason we were doing it at the exact time that was happening. So we had to time the wave going around. Like we would be like, "Hey, okay, babe, okay, get the angle, and I'll hold the phone here." And it was so, we would because there was like just so much happening, and it was like the one time like of the night that the crowd was kind of quiet because it was in between Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift playing. So we were like, we've got to do it now. But we got it down. And yeah, the video went super viral, but I think that's just because I said hashtag Taylor Swift. So
That'll
but
do
it's
it.
fun. Yeah, that'll do it. But and
that's
Star
funny.
Wars commented on it. Thank you, Swagman from Star Wars. They just said
Swagman.
OMG on the comments, so
was-
that's a good sign, I guess.
Very dedicated. I loved it so much. I'm
Thank
not a Swiftie, but that video had me absolutely rolling. Like I don't know why. I was done. Like
It was
yeah,
perfect.
it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. I think because just
that's
the
funny.
contrast was just so good.
exactly.
Yeah.
I saw that in the wild too, because I was literally like scrolling. I was like, wait a minute. Is that-
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah,
Hannah?
I've had a few people say
Time
that.
out.
Like,
I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, that's Hannah.
I was like,
I'm
holy
in the
crap.
algorithm. I am the algorithm now.
Yeah.
Scary.
I am
So
the
good.
algorithm.
Oh my
welcome
God.
to the
Yes.
show.
Lightning-
Thanks for
welcome,
joining us.
Lightning.
Lightning Slug.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What a legend.
But yeah, Hannah, it was a great bit. Obviously, we here at Hollow Knight Marauders love bits. We're all about the bits, as
Love a good bit.
as
Love a
people have
good
seen
bit.
already.
Some nice juicy
Yeah,
bits. Ooh, I don't like that.
No,
I take it
no,
back.
Ooh,
no.
no,
Take
no,
it
no.
back.
Back to the
Take
juicy
it back.
bit. See,
Nope.
we like our moisture content.
No.
Take that one
No.
back. Take that
Forget-
back.
Scrub that from your memories, everybody.
So Hannah, something else. I'm
Yes.
actually holding a whiteboard. This is the
Yes.
our show spoiler.
Oh yeah.
But
Should I get a whiteboard? A two?
well, I know you're very big into whiteboards.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you
have multiple.
whiteboard sessions at this point on your live streams.
Uh-huh.
But what got into that, and how you got you do that over there?
Yes. Like why are you asking like why do I do that?
I guess
essentially?
how did it start?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did it become what it is now? 'Cause I love it. I wish it was something I did. It reminds me of I don't know if you know the show Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But like
I know
Charlie's character, Charlie.
Good.
I
He
think
has
this
like
is
a
the
big
kind-
he has like a big board
that-
of things connecting everywhere. It's a thing that happens in other things, but it always
This is
reminds
the
me of
kind of
that.
a reference. That's the kind of a reference you don't need to know it's from Always Sunny. You just know it's the crazy guy pointing at the wall. Like you,
Yeah.
you just know
Yeah.
that's what
It's
it
like
is.
Yeah.
that's
It-
the
it's,
meme, right?
it's a big
Yeah,
meme.
the
it's
meme.
another layer if you know it's the whole Pepe Silva conversation. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is pretty much that exact same energy. And it happened the first time it happened live on stream was back in what's the month before August? July? Yeah.
Yeah.
July last year. It was when we had the trailer for Ahsoka drop, or one of the trailers, and it had a quote from Anakin in it, I believe. I think it was, am I remembering this right? There was a quote from Anakin, and there was like a phrase said, and that Hayden said, and I
Oh,
totally
yeah.
blanking on what it was.
Yeah,
But
it was
I-
while she was
I-
training. It was like his training
there
like
was
segment.
Mentioning
Yeah.
Ventress maybe and
Yeah.
Something like that.
the
Yeah.
droid
yeah,
army,
but
yeah.
but I did a live stream talking about it and going, okay, what does he mean? He said like 2 lines, but I was like, what does this mean? So I'm like, we have to like English class this, write down the quote, and then we'll break down like the techniques used in this quote by Anakin to see what he means and what is he talking about here to Ahsoka. And from that stream, it has just been a reoccurring character in like the Raeside content now, that of like, here comes the whiteboard, and then we just write everything down, all our crazy thoughts down. I actually still have, where is the whiteboard? I still have the list from this week's episode of Bad Batch of what the live chat thought was going to be the return, and everyone calling what the return. I got to get it's still on there. Hang on.
we gotta see it. Yeah, we gotta
Gotta
see
see
it.
this.
we need the full breakdown. What do you guys think the return could have been? Though? I mean, like we know kind of what happened, but
Let's get a double meaning, right? Because there's the return, Crosshair returning to the Bad
Yeah.
Batch.
yeah,
There's also Crosshair's return to the Outpost.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back
yeah.
at the Outpost.
But the first
We'll
thing
see.
is Jar Jar.
Jar
On
Jar,
that list
dude,
there.
always.
This is the list. It's pretty
Gunji.
good. I mean, someone said AZ, so I thought that
So,
was kind of
AZ
cool.
back.
Yeah,
And
Gonki.
Taboo.
I don't see
someone said
Gonki.
Taboo guy. No Gonki.
Add Gonki.
Hey, Batcher and Gonki,
Taboo.
best friends.
Good
Yeah, like
friends.
Benny Barrow on there. Now that is like a deep cut for any
Yeah,
Bad Batch fan.
Benny.
Benny
Is that the guy who
Barrow.
looks like
He was the kid.
Johnny?
Yes, he's the kid that looks like Johnny.
I miss Johnny.
Johnny.
Johnny, if you're watching, I miss you.
Return to the slop closet.
Oh yeah, we mentioned the slop closet last week.
Yeah, we did.
we
We
did.
gotta continue.
I don't know if you were here
bring
for
it
that.
up.
I think you were.
I was here for that.
You just
yeah.
came in at the end, yeah.
I just came in at the end when you were explaining the slop closet. I was glad I was there.
For those who aren't familiar with the Slob Closet in season 2, it was the episode with all the kids, and then there was the one guy controlling all the kids, and he was eating everything in the closet. So
Yeah, he was
glove
eating like
closet.
some
Soup
stew
guy.
and porridge and a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
But that was a question
Yes.
for a couple questions for Hannah. We got to see the whiteboard live on our show, which was an honor.
There you go.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Deal.
Premiere there. Boom.
We now have our community question of the week. Before we get to look at this little
Look at
graphic.
this graphic.
Whoa.
What is this?
We've made it.
Whoa. Wait.
For anybody who's only listening to
know
the
why I'm
show,
doing-
you guys are missing out. 'Cause
Not only are we saying question of the week, it says on screen.
it says it on
question
screen.
of the week.
There's a graphic. Go to our YouTube channel to check this out, guys. You're not gonna want to miss this.
Yeah. Be sure to like and subscribe, please.
Yep,
And
yep.
thanks for watching. So, question of the
Good
week.
job.
I'll pull it up again. Question of the week is comes from our friend David, and it is if you were stranded. It was one of these desert island questions. If you're stranded on a desert island, what Star Wars character would you bring with you? So,
Like an actual character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Not like a figure, not like an action figure that I could like hang out with on the beach.
No,
Like
actual.
a person. Okay.
Yeah.
You're stranded on Pabu, but there's no one else there.
Is the goal to leave, or is the goal to just live your life on this like stranded island and then just make the best of it? Because
Yeah,
that could have two
that
different
depends.
answers.
That depends on how you want to approach it. Do you want to
Yeah.
leave the island or do you want to live there forever with your character? I mean, that's up to you.
If it's Pabu, it's a pretty nice deal.
You give me a lot of thoughts. And a lot of thoughts that I probably shouldn't be allowed to say on a stream, so I don't think I can answer his question truthfully.
You're going to be demonetized.
Jesus.
It is true.
So we'll start with Hannah. We'll start with our guest.
Yay.
Thank goodness.
Do you have a good
Okay.
answer for this?
Alright.
Do you have a...
Okay. Well, I'll give you the both answers of the both situations. If I wanted to like stay there forever and live a happy life, it would be probably Mon Mothma. And we would live happily together forever because she is my woman crush and my hall pass, Mon Mothma. Actually, that's which
There
I
you
think is
go.
fair.
I like that.
If I was trying to escape the island, though, it would be probably like someone random, like Quinlan Voss or something. I think to try and escape it.
Why do you
He would
think
just,
Quinlan
like-
Voss could leave an island?
We could do it.
He's got that energy. He's got that we will get out of this island energy. He
He's
would
got
know how
that-
to like create like tie vines together to like make it.
Honestly,
I don't know.
We like barely know what species he is. So like he could like fly. We don't know. They barely
Is he human? What do you
uh
mean species?
Oh wait, did you say
He's-
Quinlan Voss or
he's
Dryden
human.
Voss? I got it mixed up.
Quinlan.
Quinlan.
Voss.
Quinlan.
Okay, never mind.
Quinlan
Never mind.
Dryden would be even funnier. No one.
That's why my mind
Dryden?
was like I was like, wait a minute, what? I got the Vosses confused.
The Voss brothers.
Who's the boss?
The Voss
That's
brothers. The
even
long-lost
better.
Voss brothers.
And I was like, oh yeah, Dryden Voss is so great at islands.
Oh
that
yeah.
is
Yeah,
so
I was like, wait a
amazing.
minute.
The other
Interesting.
boss.
There's too
Okay,
many
so Mon
Vosses.
Mothma and Quinlan Voss, both good
Quinlan.
answers,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Dryden.
Jamie or Jamie or Matt, do you want me to go first? Or I
Yeah,
have a
you
good
can go
one.
first. Okay, go ahead.
So I have one answer and one answer only.
Oh,
It's gonna be Watto.
okay.
Because one, I feel like I would just be entertained by him, and two, if I want to leave the island, I just hop on his back and we're out of there. We're flying.
You think those wings can support not just his body weight, but
I feel
your
like-
body weight too?
Oh yeah.
But you
We'd
can't be
make
on his
it.
back because that'll block the wings. He'll have to like
He'll have to
hold
grab
the
and hold his
wings with
feet.
his feet.
Grab onto his feet.
Yeah.
With a little,
And
with
then
a little
I'm out of there.
Yeah. there you
whatever
go.
the heck these
Perfect.
are. Look at these,
Ugh.
these
Yes.
stompers.
You could like suction. He'll suction onto your
Yeah.
back, and then like
Legit.
carry you
They'll
like
just
that.
like. boop. That's it.
Oh wow.
And if we don't make it, we don't make it. But I'm gonna try.
I really don't know how to answer any of these questions.
So Jamie.
You know what? I'm just
Good
gonna throw it
timing.
out there. I think that if it was for escape, I would pick Ahsoka because she's super resourceful and she has literally like found her way to another galaxy just using whales. So she could find a way. And if it was just to like live like forever for the rest of time, I think I would actually pick Maz because she tells really, really good stories, and so we would never run out of things to talk about. And if we didn't want to talk to each other, she would just be like, "Leave me alone," and I'd be like, "Cool, I feel it." And
You're putting her in an awkward situation, though.
Right.
That woman lives thousands of years.
Exactly.
You're gonna live like one human lifetime, and she's just gonna be hanging around with bones for 900 years.
she'll be fine.
What have you done to her?
Then she'll leave.
She's gonna be all
It's
alone.
just
Oh, then she'll
one-
leave. So
and
she
then she'll
could
leave.
leave.
It's just one of her lifetimes.
And she'll
Okay.
leave.
Just one. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, Matt. Who do you got?
All right. If I'm stuck on the island and I can't leave, I'm going with Gonki. Because that guy's a
Okay.
portable charger. And I could just hang around with, however many DVDs I've got, a little portable DVD player. I mean, Gonki could just like watch TV all day, every day on the beach, which should tell you what my priorities are and how I like to spend my time.
Really like your hard copies of media.
Portable
And
DVD player.
yeah, that's what I would do. I have a
No
portable
VHS
DVD
player?
This is 2007.
My VHS player broke my Jurassic Park VHS when I was having my 90s party. I'm still mad about that. Anyway, if I want to escape, I would. Well, Gonki might have. No, Gonki would sink like a stone. There's no way.
You could do a Tony Stark and like build rocket shoes for Gonki.
Yeah, but you look who you're talking to. It's me.
Oh, true.
I'm not resourceful. I'd strap a rock to him and see what happens, and nothing would happen. So I think I would go with General Tarples because he can swim, and he's probably pretty good company.
I forgot about swimming.
He could swim. Yeah, you forgot about swimming. You were
Probably
like, "Oh
should've
yeah,
chose-
Watto could fly me away." I'd swim.
Probably should have chose AZ. Like 515s tries to
There you
fly
go.
AZ.
Somebody's-
now.
I thought that's where Matt's conversation was going. But
No, I'm going with a Gungan, and I'm going with the coolest Gungan around. I love Jar Jar, but Tarples, that guy's cool.
Easy go.
Whoa,
So there was our question of the week.
the graphics
Well answered.
back.
Well answered by everyone. But now let's get to the main entree of the Bad Batch season 3, episode 5, The Return. Which Jamie teased it a bit, but what do you think this title meant? And I know Hannah had the whiteboard. What does The Return mean here? What do you think? What do you guys
I think at the end of the day, like we just said, like it was double meaning, multiple meanings. I think at the end of the day, it was the fact that they went back to Barton 4, or Crosshair went back to Barton 4, and he fully returned to everybody else as well. And so, but I would say like the return was his return to that planet to like face it again and just like overcome that.
I think that's probably it too.
Yeah.
Barton 4. I'm writing that in my notes because I forgot what the planet was called.
Barton 4.
See, I have a
There we
different
go.
take. I think return means the return of the snowworms to where they weren't allowed to go because they turned off the little partitions and they were like, "Oh, great, we get to go back to this place. I'm so happy," and then they got kicked out again. So I think that's what the return meant. For that brief moment, they got to hang around in the snow caves they once frolicked in,
And then they returned to where they came from.
and then they
again.
returned to where they came
Yeah,
from.
the
It's double.
returns.
It's the double return.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like it.
You're not wrong.
I think that's it. I think that's what they were going for.
I took the return as a bit more at the start with Crosshair kind of returning to where his place was within the Bad Batch and like just in his old armor. He's on the Marauder. He's returning to his place in that group. That was but I do agree with Jamie. I do think it's also the planet, but then I'm like, I think it's also Crosshair like in the group related as well.
Yeah.
It's his return to everything, return to his family, and return to facing the past.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And with that, I mean, I thought this episode was great. Continuing this amazing season so far. And we'll get into it, but we'll go around the table a little bit here with what were like our favorite moments from this episode, or what was your favorite specific moment from this episode? And we'll start with Hannah with that one.
Right now, is that was a question for right now? Yeah, but
Yeah, right now.
Favorite moment. It's gotta be the silent moments of and scene of Crosshair picking up Mayday's helmet and the other helmets, and I just love that there was actually just no dialogue in this. There was no one being like, "What have you got there, Crosshair?" or like Crosshair saying anything. There was nothing else happening. There was no other dialogue or words said. It was purely just visuals, lighting, coloring, everything, angles of what Crosshair was feeling in that moment. And you can totally read into it. Like, we could do a whole breakdown of what he's going through at the moment, but it wasn't even told to us. It was just showed to us, which I really enjoyed. So I think it's got to be that moment of everything he is feeling, the regrets, the realizations, the nostalgia, the memory, all that feeling in this like few shots of him seeing these helmets and placing them on the crate to be kind of respectful to them, I think was just flawless. Just one of the most powerful moments in the show so far for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was probably the most powerful moment in the episode, and definitely maybe in the show so far. Just seeing Crosshair have like remorse and caring for the clones, and Hunter watching it as we were watching it. But yeah, that was a great moment. Jamie, what was your big favorite part of the episode?
My favorite part of this episode was when the worm is chasing through the snow suddenly, and Hunter says, "I think that I made it worse," and Crosshair is just like, "Great!" Like he like says something like, "Fantastic!" Like just beautiful. Like it's just I loved every single moment of the banter between like all of them. Like actually seeing them as a unit again, even though they weren't like 100% like until like the end. I loved seeing the progression of like their banter again. I'm just falling right into it. Like the first thing Crosshair says to Echo is like he's like joking around with him immediately, and Echo's giving it right back to him. Like it's perfect, and I missed it so much because like we never got to like actually see all of them having like the joking around times. Really, like it was just the Clone Wars arc like doesn't count. Like they were like college frat boys like during that like era. Like the Bad Batch like show, they're completely different. So getting to actually see their banter between each other was like my favorite part of this entire episode.
Yeah, and I mean the episode really had it all. Like I have in my notes like episode had it all in all caps. That was my big thing at the top. Like, and that was the first thing I said to Jamie after I watched it. Like, you had your serious moments, like Hannah and it's perfect balance. Like you had your serious moment with the Mayday thing and those clones, and then you had like the silliness of it. And I love like a Star Wars story told like that, where you have these awesome like parallels and serious moments, and you have the storyline advancing, obviously, and then like you have the silliness and the joking around and the banter. I just thought it was like really good, really well done. Did you put that on your whiteboard, AJ? No, it's in my yellow Jerry Seinfeld notepad, actually.
So that's what you
the
need to
whiteboard is just so I don't forget,
fun.
so I stay on track for the episode. But also, yes, this is the true state of the union.
Thank you, Levi.
Matt, what was your big juicy takeaway from the episode?
Oh, we're going juicy tonight.
Stop. Come on.
I would say this was Wrecker's best episode. I think Wrecker was just like, he was a 10 out of 10 in this one. Oh, did you write that? Or is that just encompassed in the had it all section?
My Wrecker note was Wrecker digging.
Wrecker digs so fast. What happened?
He learned from Batcher.
He learned from Batcher
was the same energy,
was going absolutely just haywire, digging in the snow, and then this guy was like a human snowblower. Where does he put it? He's just dug.
He's eating it. That's why he's so big. He's eating it.
Snow cones.
Snow cones.
I'm freaking. Oh, there was one line that had me rolling that I can't even remember what
Was
it was.
it?
Why does it always have to be a big monster?
Yeah, that's it.
It's
That's the one.
Yes,
That's the one.
It's like
That's like
wow,
100%.
stuff inside. Bad Batch
Such a good Star Wars line.
Because
like, it's so good.
we know that this isn't the end of the giant monsters, because we're still getting the crocodile at some point in this season. Croc Watch
Yay.
2024
I forgot about that.
continues. So do you think, like, when the crocodile shows up, Wrecker's going to be like, oh no, another giant monster? It's just going to continue like every single time a giant monster shows up, and every time he's like, oh.
Yeah, I sure hope it does.
So that's
gonna be so good.
Matt has been fixated on this crocodile.
Yeah,
there's a crocodile that we're getting sometime in this season. The batch fights a crocodile, and I think it's. I think
we don't even
know. I think it's bigger than we know.
I was just gonna say we don't even know if they fight it, but literally like Hunter gets like chomped by it. So yeah, they fight it.
Well,
what
I mean, I
would
guess
be
in the trailer.
what's the crocodile equivalent name for Star Wars. Like, obviously, it's not going to be called Crocodile, but it's going to be like
It's
going
just
to
gonna
be
be
called like Dilio or something.
That's
Like
it.
the
I like
Dilio
the
animal.
the Dilio.
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 Dude, honestly, that's a pretty good Star Wars name that you just came up with off the top of your head.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Well,
damn
it's just
good.
half of Crocodilio. I don't know.
There you go.
Because it can't be Croc. Croc is too obvious. So it's got to be the other half, Dilio.
Yeah, I like it. The Dilio. Dilio Watch
Yeah.
2024. Guys, I'm just telling you, when this Croc shows up, that's all I'm going to be talking
How did
about.
that's not an
all
alligator?
episode. Could be an
Oh,
alligator.
There's a
It's true.
big
An alligator.
difference.
What
But
is
the-
the
but
difference?
are they in
like
Florida?
salt water or something? I don't know.
Maybe,
No
but I think
idea.
crocodiles are just a lot bigger.
Crocodiles have like
Yeah.
a wider, or they'll have like a broader, longer snoot. Alligators
Snoot?
have like a flatter, kind of dumber looking face.
Matt, how do you know this?
Because I was a nerd.
He
when I
used
was
to
a
be a
kid.
crocodile.
Yeah, I
He
used to be a
one.
crocodile.
Well, he
now I'm an
loves-
alligator.
All right.
Well,
Because
I
I
used,
all
to,
right,
be
all
one. I
right.
used to
He
be
loves
one.
dinosaurs, and
I love animals.
that's
I
the
love
closest
animals.
thing we have.
Do you guys have crocodiles in the States?
We have
Is that-
alligators.
No.
Alligators.
Around-
Remember, we are no.
No.
We live in
They
the
would
Northeast,
freeze.
so
They
no.
would freeze to death.
They're
Yeah,
they're,
true.
they're just like in Florida, honestly, and like
Yeah.
Is
They
it?
scare
the
me.
Gulf area.
Are they native there? Is it a thing that like you guys have alligators in the US and we have crocodiles? Is that a thing?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
I believe
Oh.
in.
Well, maybe
in-
that's the difference.
I believe in
Crocodiles have
Florida,
an Australian accent.
There's both alligators and crocodiles. It's the only place in the world where
Oh,
there's
okay.
both.
It's the
Florida
different
has
accents.
crocodiles.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I think they have both. Don't quote me. I don't know. I don't live there.
I don't know about that one.
Well,
but-
What
Jamie
about
used to be
caimans?
an alligator, so that's why you're.
Yeah, there you
saying
go.
that.
That's right. That's
That's-
right.
that's- and that's the difference.
I
Anyway.
think
AJ, what was your
Wow,
favorite
yeah.
part of the episode?
so. There's a lot to choose from, but I really loved when Crosshair was practicing his sniping skills on Pabu early in the morning
did
when
like
Omega
that.
wakes up. I thought that was such a great moment because AZ's holding the fruit. I know Clone Humor just joined the chat a little while ago. They're probably pumped about AZ being finally in the show
AZ
again.
Watch is finally over.
And I wrote down in my notes. We'll go to my note check again. I wrote Crosshair was playing Fruit Sniper instead of Fruit Ninja. And he was playing very badly. He was missing like everything, and
Well,
it's kind of it was a comical scene, but it was also kind of sad because it's like he still has the shakes in his hands, and
Is this the first
on
time
himself.
we have ever seen Crosshair miss?
This consistently,
screen.
yeah.
yeah, I'd say
Have we
so.
ever seen him miss a shot? Like he sometimes he misses and they're like, "Oh, you missed," and he goes, "I wasn't aiming for you," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But is this the first time he's ever actually missed a shot he was trying to take?
Well, and anytime this season, so far, he's missed. He's kind
I
of.
think he's missed in the breakout.
Like the breakout on Mount Tantus, there was a lot of trouble, and then in the whole
There's a
let's
lot of
shoot up the let's shoot up the spaceport. That was
Ooh.
also really
The
difficult. But
spaceport, I think.
Another
Interesting.
Jurassic Park reference? What
Oh,
the
we'll
hell's
get
going
to
on
that.
with these guys? That you just reminded me of that. I
we'll
was
get to that.
blown away. All right, we'll get
Last
to that.
season
We'll
was
get to that.
Indiana Jones. This
Look,
is Jurassic
This
Park.
one was Jurassic Park.
We gotta go through as it comes up. We'll do a full
So,
recap. That's like
we
later in
did
the
our-
episode.
Fine.
so we'll
we
get
did our
there,
favorite
we'll get there.
moments.
We
Sticking to the
already talked
whiteboard,
about
Matt.
like all the best moments in the show, but that's fine. We'll go in order
So,
now.
Back to the beginning of the episode here, of the Bad Batch episode. Omega, there's been a little bit of a time jump. I know last week we kind of thought maybe it might pick up right away and we'll see like the beef between Crosshair and Wrecker and Hunter, but that didn't happen. A little bit of a time jump, maybe a few days,
It's
even
gonna-
if
yeah, a
that
few days,
might
a
even be
week
a
at
day.
most. Yeah.
But we see Omega waking up on the Marauder in her room, back at peace again with Lula. And Lula, either Omega's shrinking or Lula's growing, because
Such a
Lula
good
looks
point.
huge.
Look,
Lula's
She's like
growing.
hugging
I
the
think
whole
that's probably
thing.
it.
She's
Yeah,
like
the same size as Lula.
When you-
used to be like
no, Lula has always been huge. Like I need you to imagine, Lula fits in Wrecker's hand, but Wrecker is a really big guy. So like the one that they have from like Shop Disney, which is this one.
Yeah.
This is way too small.
Disney's tricking us.
I gotta say, this
okay.
Lula is way too small.
They're making us
Um,
giants.
But so she should be like at least like twice the size of this. That's all I gotta say. I love her though anyway.
So this is like the Andre the
not,
Giant
not
Coke
to
can,
scale.
where you ever see that picture of him holding the Coke can and it's literally like as big as his thumb. It's just like tiny
Yeah.
in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's actually giant because Wrecker's hands are giant. Okay, that makes
There you
sense.
go.
But yeah, I loved the moment of her waking up and everything was just like at peace, and she was just clearly just so happy to be home, back where she's nice and safe. She has Lula, and everything was just genuinely perfect. Like in that moment, like it was so good, and she even had like cozy clothes. Like I think that was like the best part
Yeah,
of
they
all
look
of it.
great. They look super
her little
cozy.
vest, her like wool knit vest.
The
I love that one. That
macrame.
was good.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Macrame.
Macrame.
The worst.
Mac-
Okay,
macrame.
I say
Look,
macrame.
macrame. I've never heard it said that way before, but I'm
You
not,
say
I'm not
I don't know
Mario.
why
I say Mario.
Macrame. This is so
I say
fun.
alligator. You say
But
crocodile.
all that being said, guys, I tried to restrain myself to not say this was my favorite moment, because it was a favorite moment, but I tried to restrain myself, but it got brought up because I'd mentioned the outfit.
oh God.
The moment like that happened, I was very close to actually hesitating to pause the show to just look at the textures alone and just like the scene of literally Omega waking up, because everything looks so good. Like the fabrics,
the animation looked really
so good.
It did.
Like, I just look at so close to this.
It looked like the clothes look live action on like an animated
Yes.
body. It
you could
looked really
tell
good.
like what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
I actually. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with that opening scene, like the whole time we were just seeing her like in that new outfit and that like her moving around it and how good it looked. I was like, I literally have the thought live watching it. Oh, Jamie's for sure gonna like make this. Like, she'll 100% be like studying this outfit to detail to make this.
I am
for sure.
And so like I mentioned the macrame because I kept thinking about it like the entire episode. I was just like, oh my god, I need to like learn how to like tie knots like properly to like do that. I'm have to look into like how to like knit again. And I was like, oh my god. And then like the episode guides got dropped today. It literally says in like the breakdown, this vest is macrame, and I'm like, ah!
Wow. Yeah, wow.
There you
Never
go.
heard this before, and now it's like in my mind. It's like dominating my
Macrame.
brain.
I am
Are you
so
holding
excited. Yes,
Is that
because
is that the Galaxy's Edge cover? What the hell?
okay, I have a
Ah,
reason.
Likes
Actually-
reading.
No. There's a reason for that because immediately after she wakes up, Hunter and Wrecker are chilling there and drinking coffee, right? But they're not. Bear with me. Bear
Whoa.
with me.
Well,
Someone tweeted
This
out
is big.
just saying how they were super excited that like Hunter and Wrecker were just like chilling, like having their calf, and they're like, oh my god, like here we are, like they're just like having like a cozy morning, and the lighting director Joel Aaron responded back to it saying it was hot Mugen tea, and that's something that you can make in this cookbook.
Oh
Mugen
my
tea.
No
Goodness.
way.
that
I
looks
was going-
cold
Wow.
though. Is that
So
hot or
hot.
cold?
So this
It's like
is
cider. You can have it either way.
cold, but
This is cold.
and the funny
you
thing
can have
about
iced
this,
tea.
you guys will appreciate this. It goes on about like how it's from the RD's beverage company, so it's kind of like almost the Java juice type thing. So it is kind of your tea. It's an iced tea, but chocolate milk and like cream, and then a bunch of other sweet stuff. And
What
so
the
anyway,
hell?
these guys are drinking like hot
Ooh.
chocolate, like just like chilling. So I think that
Man,
that's like the funniest thing.
I really want that job.
love
When I
that.
was a
I
kid,
love
I was mixing all these drinks together, creating like little potions. I didn't know I was training for a job at Lucasfilm making the cookbook.
What were
Mixing,
you mixing?
Are you kidding? I mixed Sprite and Sierra Mist. Very
Oh.
crazy. No, but
Did you mix
Not kidding.
Coke and ginger ale or what? Keep
Ginger
going.
ale.
Coke and
and
ginger
Sprite.
ale. That's it.
Nah, I can't.
Don't mind me.
What is it? It's cranberry juice and fruit punch. If you mix those together, they like cancel each other out, and it has like no taste.
And it's
There's
just water.
There's one combination
What
of drink
negative
that, like,
liquid?
my friend and I found out where if we mix them together, it tastes like nothing, and I don't remember what it was. But that's how
you turned-
flaming
We
Dr.
were
Peppers
this
were
we were
created.
this close
We were this
to
close.
a worldwide breakthrough, but Matt can't
Instead
remember
of
what the drink was.
Maybe I'll
Anyway.
keep it for myself. I'll sell it.
So we're
Yeah.
still literally at the first scene of the show.
Yeah, Omega wakes up. We're talking
and
about cranberry juice.
Hunter and Wrecker have Mugen tea.
So then we get
Anyway.
the fruit ninja, fruit
Yeah,
sniper,
fruit-
I should say.
Fruit sniper.
Fruit snipe.
And I love when Crosshair's like he can always tell when somebody's watching, and he like he's like looking over his shit.
That's my favorite shot in the entire
Oh.
show. I'm not even kidding.
the sun
like-
is just beaming off Wrecker's head there.
I was dying laughing.
Shining.
He
Like-
he friggin' buffed his head before he did that. He's blinding them down there.
That's how Crosshair knew.
Instead of using the little reflector mirrors on his belt, he just goes.
No kidding.
So it's like in A New Hope where they see the jaw trawler like in the horizon and it's like flashing. It's like it's actually just
where's-
Wrecker's head.
Where's
on
C-3PO
Yeah.
going over here? And it's Wrecker's head just shining off in unison.
They're just. I'm sorry. One more
Oh, no,
time.
I can't do
They're,
it.
they're just.
There they are.
I just.
The way it
I
was
just-
done was just like that's how the episode went. It was like serious, and then that shot wasn't really like supposed to be funny, but it was just hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's-
Maybe it was supposed to be funny, but
I think it was. It is like if you understand the group's dynamic, and this episode was perfect, showcasing their dynamic as a unit. Because like half of this episode was also just Hunter learning to regain his trust in Crosshair, and like half of this episode is just him giving Crosshair like the biggest like side eye you ever seen in his entire life because he doesn't trust him still. And it's just him observing him, and I think that is just beautiful that like they're the way that they're showing Hunter working through his reconnecting with Crosshair is just the way that he does it best, which is just observing him and trying to get out what he can before actually talking to him first, and then he is like, I gotta talk to him. But like that's what he does. He observes in order to figure out what his next move is from there, and it's his ability shown, and it's perfect.
Do you
Yeah.
think his shakes will stop now that he's kind of reconnected with his brothers? Or do you think it's just like some kind of medical, like he's injured and deteriorating or something along those lines?
I think it's like a stress thing. And I think he's getting more comfortable as we see in this episode. He opens up later on and he's getting all these hugs. So I know, I don't know who said it once, but 8 hugs a day makes you a happier person. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know why 8 is the number, but he got a lot in this
Don't
episode.
do 9.
but
You don't want
Yeah,
them to
don't-
happen when you have 9.
Don't do
No.
9.
Call him
many.
call him General Hugs. Am I right?
Oh, shocker.
I think, yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
No, so regarding Crosshair's shakes, I think that a big thing moving forward, like with this show, is they're low-key also talking about how soldiers work through trauma after. And I think I think that's something that I think that what they'll do is they'll show him not necessarily it won't go away, but maybe it'll lessen or he learns to work with it. Because it's something that he never thought he was going to have to deal with in the first place. He doesn't even know what it is still. He doesn't really know fully what's causing it. And it's going to be difficult for him to unpack what did cause it for him completely. So they might lessen, but I don't think that they're ever truly going to go away. But I think that the fact that they tossed a line in there of him telling Omega how to snipe, or at least like a little bit of teaching there, which
That was really cool.
so good. He's going to learn how to essentially relearn how to do it the best himself as well. So I don't think he's just going to, I don't think it's just going to stop, but I think he'll learn to work with it. As with anything in which you overcome any sort of traumatic event, you learn, unfortunately, to work with it and overcome it that way, because it might not ever be truly gone, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Can't fit that
Yeah,
all
for
that on a
sure.
whiteboard.
we can try.
Yeah. We can try.
So, I mean, yeah, from there we see Echo show up in the ship, and they all know it's Echo. Omega's like,
Thunderous
it's
applause for
Echo's
Echo.
here, and Crosshair's like,
Echo.
ah, great. But I think he's secretly excited. And speaking of hugs, he mentions hugs because Omega gets a great hug from Echo. Echo is like the best hugger, by the way. I know we got some
He
great
is.
hugs last
Well,
week.
he's always hugging.
He's
Echo
always
is
hugging.
just constantly
He's a
hugging.
big hugger.
Fives taught him.
How does he hug with the arm though? It's like,
Well,
It's the
Ooh,
same.
yeah.
It's the same.
that's something I
I guess
just
so.
like totally like realized yesterday. They still haven't given him his damn arm. That guy's never getting his arm.
Yeah, the
He's just
go-go
keeping-
gadget arm.
He's just keeping the stump
I
for the
know.
entire time.
One day.
I like the screwdriver arm.
I like the screwdriver arm too, but he needs to give more complete hugs. And the only way
And
to
we
do
know
that
that
is to get a
there's
mechanical arm.
hands. There's mechanical hands in Star Wars. They're
Yeah.
there. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, and that's right. Batcher,
Yes.
who is
Thank
my
you. That's what I yeah.
best
Oh my
character in
God,
Star Wars
yes.
right now.
Yes.
Like top power rankings, Batcher's #1 for me. Like, and has been. She has
A lot
been
to
for-
say about Batcher.
A lot to say
Big
about Batcher in
Batcher,
this episode.
Am I right?
But yeah, Batcher runs up
That's good.
and yaps at the Moonyus, the monkeys. The Moonyus, I think is what they're called. The yaps at them to get off a Gonki because they're like chewing on the wires and
Get off my friend. And then they quickly became friends because Batcher's like napping with the monkeys later on. As after we see the reunion with Echo and Omega. Crosshair does say no hug for me.
That was
which
great.
he's like, he's being his typical Crosshair self, but secretly he's like, I want one.
He's being his salty self, but
it's so good.
He's got to get some intel. He's got to bring some good intel, and then he'll get all the hugs he wants.
Yeah, that should have been the credit scene.
It's perfect because like Crosshair gives like his like sass to Echo, and then Echo just sasses him straight back because that's also what he does. Because Echo's like, "Oh, you're gonna give me information," or like,
it's so funny.
It's so good
to see how far Echo has come. Because in the first episode, not in the first episode he appears. Yeah, when does he get his name? He gets his name at the clone training facility, and they make him out to be like this like.
He's a stiff.
Goody two shoes kind of like like nerd, like kind of loser clone who's always like, oh, gotta cite the rules, gotta cite this, gotta echo this, blah, blah, blah. And now he's like the most badass clone out of all of them with like one arm, and he's like, oh, I'll hug you when you get good intel. He's like, what happened? What an arc! What an arc!
You're blurring your voices. That was
that was Wrecker. I can only do Wrecker. I can't do any other.
Only do Wrecker.
I can only do Wrecker. So just picture
so
Wrecker. Wrecker's voice on Echo's body.
Did you guys notice after Hunter fell through the ice, Crosshair like yelled down to him and it sounded like Tech?
Oh yeah.
Did
oh my
you
gosh.
notice
I
that?
rewatched a clip of that. It's so just exactly Tech.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean,
and they actually acknowledged Tech's death in this episode.
Yeah, so let's
Oh my
talk
God.
about that.
Because that's in order.
Let's
We're
talk
going
about that.
in order. We're going in episode order.
Yeah, I jumped ahead. I'm sorry because you were
That's
doing a Wrecker voice for Echo, so I was like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, so they have the little dinner on Pabu in which no one is eating except Wrecker, which is hilarious.
Duh.
Can I just point out they mention the other Pabuans, the people that live on Pabu. I don't know what you call them. We don't see a soul.
That's it.
We only see the Bad Batch. So back to my original question, it might as well be a deserted island because I didn't see anyone else there.
That's true. Where's the old guy? Where's the
I
grandpa
know.
on the chair that like can't be like in a straight line or stand up? He can only sit
wanna
down.
see him,
And
yeah.
Wrecker had to carry him. Where's that
Look,
guy?
Extras are
Where were the
expensive.
clones?
Actors are hard to get on set at the same time. Maybe their schedules conflicted.
Where
That's
were the little
probably it.
guys? Where were the cadets? They
Oh,
are
yeah.
around.
Oh
I
yeah,
wish
where the
that
hell did they
Yeah.
go?
Where were
Ninja
they? What were they
boyos,
doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, Liana and Shep were mentioned at least, but
Yeah.
oh well.
Love Shep.
But yeah, everybody is sitting around the table, and I love how Omega still has the data pad, and they're all just super sad that like she can't crack it. And Echo's like, well, it's just this skating around, like talking about Tech is like something, and it's a choice for sure. But like this was more than I was expecting them to actually like show so far, and like I wish that like they would like talk about it more, but sometimes you just can't, and it's just too difficult to continue talking about it. But yeah, it's even difficult for us to talk about like now still.
Hey, he might still be alive.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the detail just before the kids. They're like delivery from the Doobie and Kiwa. What are the names?
Whoa!
He says,
Whoa,
"Whoa."
Hannah,
Whoa.
what are you talking about? I'm
Shep-
sorry.
Shep
Oh my
and-
god, I got a headache. What happened?
Shep and
Wait.
the
Are you
other
talking
one.
about the cadets?
Okay.
Oh, those
He's
kids.
not
Yeah,
talking
where are
about-
those kids?
Are you talking about the cadets or the guy who runs?
Well, that's.
who like governs the island, Shep.
Well, I think that's my question because, like, the part where Wrecker says or Hunter says delivery from, and then two names of
Yeah, Shep
kids.
and
Who are
Liana.
the two kids?
So it's
Who are they?
one kid. So it's Shep, who's the guy who like governs
big guy.
Pabu. He's just like the mayor, and then
Oh,
Liana,
goodness.
who's his daughter, who's friends with Omega because they
kinda
went
like
on
a
the boat
Moana
together out
situation.
in like the middle of like the water, and then the tsunami
Yeah.
hit and all of that. Yeah.
I got those two names mixed up, and I've just realized it now. This whole time, for like days,
I
I
mean,
thought this.
I thought.
I thought it was Jack and Shaia who is Cut
No!
McQuain's kids.
Okay,
Oh,
I thought he was
yeah.
mentioning Cut McQuain's kids. The
I
whole
wish they
time.
were
Is
there.
that- Yeah, and
That
that's why I
would've
was
been
like, that's a
cool.
random like deep cut to be like, hey, the kid's like sitting in prison, but it kind of made sense. I was like, oh yeah, that's like a great connection. That makes more sense. That's
The
the
LaQuain's
heavy people.
trash soccer ball was in like Omega's
Trash
room.
ball.
If you
I
noticed,
saw that.
it
That
was just like
cool.
tossed
That's
in the
why, I
Was
think
it
side.
that's why
really?
it was in my
Yeah.
head because I
Yeah,
was
it
like,
was
oh,
still
it's their
just there.
ball, and then
Yeah,
they mentioned something
Wow.
else about
They
it.
still have the
Cool.
trash
Crap.
ball.
they kept the
We
trash.
But,
love
like,
the
what-
trash ball
What is
here.
it? Shep and what's the girl's name?
Liana.
Liana?
Liana.
Shep and Liana, Jack and Shaia. Like it's got
The-
the same like.
Yeah.
You wanna know what their
dude
last name is?
adapter.
Their last name is Hazard.
Ooh.
Shep Hazard.
Shep Hazard
Shep
and Liana Hazard.
Liana Hazard.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
I wish they were in
Huh.
it at least for like a moment, but at least they were mentioned, which is good.
Yeah, but it makes
Anyway.
sense. It was focused on the batch reuniting. We didn't need other characters.
I
butting
love
in.
Everybody was
that.
taking a nap.
Good point.
It was
Yeah.
nap time. You know how everybody has
Exactly.
like tea time or
Siesta.
something like
It
that.
was
Yeah.
siesta.
Yeah, they got
hour.
a siesta time.
Yeah, yeah. But back to this incredibly deep and moving and intense moment that we
Right.
were talking about. Yeah, insane. And I love the awkward silence. This just tension-filled silence that happened there. They were just like tech, and then everyone's just like. It was just like I felt it watching. I was just like, oh, like awkward.
Oh yeah.
It was really well done. It was so well done.
There's even like the empty chair.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
A lot of
Right,
great
next-
details
next
in this
echo.
episode. Like the episode was hitting on all cylinders. It really
Mm-hmm.
had it all. But then from there, to move on from the sadness, they Crosshair brings up the place he was at, the outpost, which was called Barton 4. Thanks for
Barton.
Jamie for mentioning it earlier.
But
Do we know what like who's Barton? Do we know anything like why did they
No.
name it Barton?
what's Barton 1? I want to know Barton 1.
Yeah.
No,
You don't want to go to Barton 1. It's all worms. Barton
It's
4 is
all
just
worms. I want to
Yeah.
go to Barton 1,
It's all
dude.
worm
So-
world.
The surface is just worms.
It's all worms. They're daring you to come down. Come
Big
on.
worm week, by the way. We had
It's
Dune Part 2 come
Huge
out,
Worm
and then,
week.
Yeah.
and then this worm spelled with a Y. Worm with a Y.
Oh, then never mind. That's a dragon.
Yeah.
Worm with a Y is a dragon.
Well,
Worm-
hey,
worm
let's
hell.
think about
without
that.
arms.
Let's unpack that. Worm is like a dragon with WYRM, but it looked kind of more like a crate dragon, right? And like the really big crate dragon in the beginning of my favorite episode of The Mandalorian, fan favorite here, the Marshal. That could be considered a worm, but it was a crate dragon, right?
No crate dragons have arms and
A
legs.
lot of worms.
That dude
Yeah,
was Slytherin, but he
do.
had, you know.
But like he wasn't. I don't know. We're reaching. It
This
was
was
a
the
worm.
full-on Alaskan bull.
This was an Alaskan bullworm. It was big,
Yeah.
scary, and pink.
I saw
also-
someone mention SpongeBob earlier. But... Yeah, go ahead, Hannah.
I was just trying to think how do the worms actually travel through? Like if they don't have arms, well, I guess it's like how a
Yeah.
snake
Kind of like
is.
snakes,
But
right?
We don't want to know.
But like they're pushing through Earth.
They,
like
they just go.
how do?
Well, it's like you
Just-
said
just
with
forward.
Wrecker in the
just
snow.
like a video game, just forward.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
good
said
point.
with
They're just
Wrecker in the
eating
snow.
it.
They're
They're
just
eating
eating
it.
ground.
That's-
And
yeah.
they're eating the snow.
Of course.
Wow, that's
And
wild.
It's Pac-Man.
Answer.
It's basically Pac-Man.
Can I just
Yeah,
point
yeah.
out, the Kinders literally tweeted this.
Dads.
That's good.
But
I love
Crosshair and
that.
Hunter and the Dune poster.
That's so
Perfect.
good.
That is really good. The Kinders are always tweeting some amazing things, teasing
They're
all of
always
us.
firing on all cylinders. I love
They're the
it.
heart and soul of clone Twitter, as we call it.
Seriously.
But before we get to Barton 4 and the cold and the worm and the outpost, we had the cool moment of Hunter not wanting Omega to go with them, and Wrecker and Omega were going to stay back. And they didn't like fully agree on it. Omega said like she wants to go, and I thought Hunter would be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, fine." But they don't mention it. And for a minute, I
But
thought
she just
Omega
goes
was.
anyway.
I thought Omega was going to stay behind the way she was talking with Crosshair.
Same.
With another great conversation because Omega is like, I am as old as you guys or older than you guys, little brother.
Yeah.
Little bro.
And then he's like, that was the beginning of Crosshair like starting
he
to like warm up more.
smiled.
That's
Yeah, it was great.
He
fantastic.
smiled.
Fantastic.
Mm.
Because that is an often overlooked detail about Omega is that she is older than them.
Yeah, which is so weird, but
It is. It's really weird, but
It
I
is.
love that it's like playing with it. You know.
now we can get to the outpost in the cold on Barton 4. I'm gonna keep saying Barton 4 so we all
Barton
remember
4.
it. Barton 4. We'll probably never see this planet again now, but
Now
we
we
get
never
there.
will. But
It's so cool because recently I did my rewatch of season 2, of course. And I watched Matt was over when I watched the
Yeah.
Outpost episode, so I was
We
thinking
were
of
both just sitting there in pure silence.
Yeah,
At the end, oh my god.
I didn't know we'd be back. I didn't know we'd be returning
Yeah, same. I
to
mean, it was
the
perfect that we watched
Yeah,
that.
it's
the
cool.
return.
But it was
So,
pretty funny. It was like 2 a.m. and we're just kind of like sitting there in your living room as the music just like sadly plays. And we're like, wow.
yeah. And
I
the vulture.
I was away when they had this like watch, and so the next morning I received a text that said, "Don't pay attention at the time," but this was Matt and me watching The Outpost at 2 a.m. and it was a meme of just like two guys just like
Yeah.
just like staring like off the couch, and I'm like, jeez.
It was good. But I mean, I was happy to be back and to see the ice vulture thing. I don't know the proper name for it. Circling around again, Crosshair looking at it like, oh, I remember this. And it was cool to see like I guess it wasn't snow, but it was the ice increased on the planet, because when we were there last time, that little tower thing, the beacon that keeps the worm out, that we find out, the sensor, was uncovered, and like Mayday knocks on it and they're up there next to it, and like the snow was almost up to it, and then the tower that Crosshair snipes from, there was like some ice and snow that built up on that
like
too.
Walk-in like level.
Yeah,
wow.
So it was kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that until like just now, but like obviously you see like the snow drifts like up to the bunker itself. And so I don't know, they just didn't have the Imperial snow crew there to shovel out everything.
They didn't invent snow troopers yet.
They didn't
So
have Badger.
they can't shovel.
They're using those hounds wrong.
They don't know what it
They
is.
should just use them to
How
dig
do we
snow.
deal with this?
It's like, what if we put a big hood on the front of their faces? Brilliant.
Perfect.
Now
Send
we
them
can
out.
handle anything.
Now we can do everything.
But yeah, Batcher digs out the outpost, the door there to get in.
Not right away. It's literally just like Hunter and Wrecker just start like going at it, and then Batcher's like, "Oh my god, are you digging? I'm gonna dig," and then she just goes for it, and then and then she's so proud like when she finishes. Like I just love everything about Batcher. She just wants everyone to love her.
I wonder if she uses, because like her nose, she's kind of got like a pointed head, right? Like it's kind of got a brim. Like I wonder if she actually was using that to dig. I don't know. I mean, her arms were going, but I wonder if that like was helping.
I wonder if that's
kind
what
of
makes
like
it faster. She's got 3 limbs to dig with.
Yeah.
As I'm like
really.
imagining like doing that with my own
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's
Why
kind of like
not?
a shovel for a head or something. But yeah.
It's
don't
like
know.
the opposite of a hammerhead shark. It's like upright,
Yeah.
really.
That's right.
Shovel head.
Shovelhead dog.
Shovelhead
dog.
dog. And a hammerhead shark. Put them together. What do you I don't even want. Actually, that's probably Batcher. Batcher is like a combination of a shark and a dog.
We did say
With the
that
feather.
originally on the trailer. We're like, is that a shark?
Yeah, the shark dog. We
Shark
like called her that like immediately.
Is that a crocodile?
Back to the-
Shark dog and lava boy.
Ooh.
There you go.
Who's
So anyways,
Lava Boy?
Crosshair.
Okay.
Love.
I don't know.
Anyway,
But
Oh,
Batcher,
man.
Batcher is just the best, and I'm gonna keep saying that every week. I loved her so much off the premiere when Omega started building that relationship with her, and then I was so sad when she released her, and now she's like a full-on part of the Bad Batch, piece of the Bad Batch. And like they can't hurt Batcher this season. Batcher needs.
They keep
needs a
saying we're
happy
gonna
ending.
cry. We're gonna cry sometime.
They can't hurt the
they
hound.
can't kill the dog.
No,
Look,
they probably won't kill the dog.
one thing that also like that I like.
There it is, Chad. Anakin is the lava boy. You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
He's
I was
absolutely
about
right.
So good. It's so good.
just when I'm about to be serious. As I like mentioned earlier, just about like the healing process and the soldiers' PTSD in general. Like Batcher has really become an emotional support dog at this point as well. Like she follows Crosshair around everywhere, and he like
Yeah.
goes out of his way to like give her like a pet and like make sure that she's nearby and whatnot. So she's kind of officially like become his dog, not just like in the case of like dad didn't want a dog but dad loves the dog. No, this dog is actually like his emotional support animal, and he needs her, and I think that is beautiful.
And I think it's also, I want to go back and fact check this, but I feel like every time he touches her, it is with his shaky hand. I feel. So maybe
Yeah.
it's like a
I
nice.
I'm
think
pretty
you're
sure
right.
it
And
is.
it is that
Yeah.
like therapy, like soothing thing, being like,
Jeez Louise.
ah,
hmm
The details just off the
Yeah.
charts.
The
Mm.
details are incredible, which is like it's so fun to discuss this show. Obviously,
Yeah,
all
no
the shows have
kidding.
been fun to discuss, but like I learned things as we're all talking because we all see different things online, and it's like that's such a good detail, Hannah, that you noticed. And now that you
Mhm.
mentioned, I'm like, oh, that's right. It's the right hand
Mm.
that keeps patting Batcher with. And Jamie, as you mentioned, like Batcher was following Crosshair around, like you said,
Mhm.
like I don't know if it was just because that was where the action was. Oh, she didn't want to stay on the computer with Omega. And I saw someone mention earlier that Batcher noticed, and this makes sense, noticed the worm approaching before Hunter did, or
Yeah.
before Omega or Hunter did. And that's like,
Which makes sense. I mean,
She's
like
a
most
dog.
animals
Hear
are
better.
really intuitive of, oh my god, there's trouble coming. Like they can hear it like before anyone else. Like Hunter can hear it before anyone else as well. But like nothing will compare to an actual like dog. So like
Mm.
I
Mm.
think that like that was great. Like Crosshair and Hunter having their little almost fight out in front of the ship, and then Batcher runs over because she's like, oh my god, something's happening. Not because they're fighting, or maybe because they're also fighting as well. I just love how it's canon that Crosshair and Hunter will just get into fights all the time
makes
just
sense.
to get
Yeah.
into fights.
Yeah.
I love it. Like,
They're both alphas.
There
in
you
a way,
go.
I guess.
and I just love every single moment about it. And like it's just I'm just gonna keep saying it. It's so good. Like this episode genuinely was like one of my favorite episodes of the show, period, because like it showcased everything about the Bad Batch as a unit together, and they were all perfect in their own way, even if they all didn't have like say like Wrecker, Echo, and Omega didn't necessarily have like the biggest parts, but when they were in it, it was perfect. And it was really Crosshair and Hunter's episode of coming back together to trust each other. But they were also just like so perfect, like with it, even though they didn't say a million things. It was short conversations, but it was to the point, which is them. That's the way that they talk to each other.
Yeah. And like no, it was such an enjoyable episode. Like I know on Hannah's show they rate the episodes every week, and everyone does that. But like
Mm.
I think I was
No, it's
watching
just on.
Hannah's
It's
stream.
just on Hannah's show.
It's just Hannah.
No
It's
one
just-
else-
I've,
no one
I've
else
made
rates
up.
things.
I've made up rating actually.
He's made
on
up
the-
critiques
on the
my
whiteboard.
mention.
Yeah.
on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
But like I think I gave it like a 9 something out of 10, like a 9 point something. But like it was really good. Like it had it all. And like, I was saying to Jamie yesterday after we watched it, I was like, that could have easily been labeled as like a filler episode, as people say. Like,
Delete. Don't say that.
it's just a
We
worm
don't use that word.
It's just a worm monster episode. And but they made it such a important episode of Crosshair becoming a member of the Bad Batch again, gaining their trust again, gaining his, I don't want to say happiness, but a little bit of happiness back. Is getting rid of stress from his life in a way with the giant worm. But it's such a big transition episode, and meanwhile, it is furthering the plot with the Tantus thing because they get the info from that. So like, it was just such a genius episode, I think. From that
Honestly,
point of view.
if I was told, hey, show an episode of the Bad Batch to someone who's never seen it before, I would show them this episode. Like this would be like a good like random like one-off like entry episode, because it's this is when there's a big turning point and they come back together and they're reunited, and it shows their dynamic really well. Like if you want to know like what the show is about, this is it. It's the group of them. And I think that it's like a perfect like highlight like of that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the reason it doesn't feel so light, or an episode that is just randomized, is like what we're saying with all this character development, the dynamic of everything. But it's also kind of coming into that final conversation that Crosshair and Hunter have, and they say like a very quotable, like kind of universal message about mistakes. And we all make mistakes, but it's all about how we look to our future and how we can be better. And I think that ties so well into the overall message of Star Wars, and especially like thinking back to original trilogy, this very simplified, it's about hope, it's about turning to the light, it's about, no matter where you are in life, you can always become a better person, and that kind of storyline. So I felt like, in this 123-minute episode or whatever, how long it is, they somehow encompass that message of hope and mistakes. We all make mistakes, but we can improve ourselves every day, and every day is a new day. I think they just hit that so well. They did it so well in the story, and that's what makes it feel so meaty of an episode, because it's like,
Yeah,
it's
it
good.
was.
Messages,
it's
yes.
especially good because Crosshair is still alive to like
Yeah.
to continue to grow and be better every day, as opposed to most of the time in Star Wars, redemption comes at the end of someone's life. You don't get to see that process of healing and returning to a sense of normalcy and kind of building on that every day, like you said, and growing. You don't get to see that because everybody's growth is stunted when they die at the end of their redemptions. So it's actually nice to see Crosshair day to day kind of just going along his redemption arc. A lot of people have talked about how much they want to see that in Star Wars. So it's nice to actually see that.
And the scene of him getting his armor back, and then wearing it and coming out, and everyone turns to Hunter looks, and then Echo's like, "What are you looking at?" And he turns and like, "Holy crap, it looks good on him again." And the Kinder's theme of Crosshair's theme, I should say, was like very triumphant, not like mysterious and sad and whatever, but like that was such a cool scene too. That was
I
up
hope he
there
paints it.
I think
hope
he will.
paints it the blue and orange. That'd be cool.
I think he'll come around to it. Everyone is due to get some repainting. I gotta say,
everybody's a little scratched up, a little chipped.
Looking a little
I like
rough
that look
there.
though. It's symbolic.
It's a good look, and I think it's something. I think that you could compare like the clones, especially like a group that is like a unit or like a batch in this situation. It's their coming together is like painting the armor together, like having like a meal together is like a coming together symbolism. Painting the armor together would be like another coming together symbolism. So like if he does paint his armor, I think that they got to do it with everybody. I went out of my way to like put like my like Crosshair figure like with everybody today as well, and I'm really glad that I did. He's just hanging out with everybody. It's so sad.
And he fits because it's the season 1 look. Although he doesn't have his hair anymore. But
it's okay. Shh, don't tell anyone. I hope his hair kind of grows back. I hope his hair grows back a little.
There's 2 bald boys now. There were almost 3 bald boys.
That's right.
Tech had male pattern baldness. He was getting there.
Well, Echo's
bald.
Oh yeah, Echo's bald as hell. There are almost 4 bald boys. Everybody's bald.
And then Hunter has more hair than anyone.
Yeah,
That's true.
Hunter's got the hair gene. That's
everyone
all the
else's
DNA went to his
There
hair.
you go.
Yeah.
That's
No
it.
kidding. No kidding.
That's really why the 99 back then.
I'm sorry, Hannah.
I was trying to
Cut you off there.
it was so
But yeah, I don't know where we left off with the worm story, but
The worm arrives. The worm shows up.
the worm arrives and they're like, "Oh crap, we have to get this thing out of here." But we also have to turn on the sensors again. They turned them off to repower the station, right? So they could download the stuff. So
Yeah.
Echo and Omega's basically just learned everything from Tech and Echo at this point. So she's great at the computers. I loved how she was just plugging away herself. Like she saw the button on and she's like, "All right, I got this. I'll type in.
Yeah.
I'll log in." And
Echo's just supervising. He's just making sure that she doesn't get like electrocuted or whatever. He's like, "All right, you're good."
They're downloading the data, and it reminded me of like one of those video game levels where you have to like someone's downloading something, and you have to defend them, and you're seeing like the thing download as like you're playing, and you have to defend the hordes and stuff. This time it's just a worm. So
yeah, actually.
The worm defense instead of tower defense. I like
Worm
that.
defense.
So Matt, talk about Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the scene
Now
where
that we're here.
they send Wrecker to like repower the sensors and stuff, and he has to go into this room and he has to do like the generator, and he's got to go like the and then like in the movie, like in Jurassic Park, he's gonna charge it up.
We didn't see Mace Windu's hand.
We did not see a hand. I swear, I was actually half expecting for when the lights like came on. He's like, "Oh!" I was expecting like a hand to fall down, and it was I don't know who it would have been, but would have been funny.
Somebody.
But that was
so many
great,
Jurassic
though.
Park references.
That was great.
It's incredible. I wonder what they're gonna do next week. The crocodile. Oh, wait a minute.
They'll have what is that actor's name? Yeah, Newman, the Newman actor.
Hey,
Wayne
Wayne Knight.
Knight.
Wayne Knight.
They'll have him voice someone. They'll have him
They
voice
should.
someone.
Oh, he'd be a great Star Wars
He has
character.
such a good voice.
Come on. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. He's
gonna
the
have
voice
shaving
of the
cream.
crocodile.
He's the voice. Wayne Knight voices the crocodile.
Wait. This is not confirmed.
Come
We're
on.
just
This is
speculating.
confirmed. This is confirmed. Juicy leak.
Yeah.
Another juicy leak.
Juicy leak.
Calling it Marauders.
That's good.
No, we're past that.
Oh
So
man.
So the worm.
So the worm. Nobody rode the worm.
No,
one named Paul
unfortunately,
rode the
Batcher
worm.
didn't ride the worm. That's what I
No.
had on my bingo card. Didn't happen.
I loved the shots under the snow of the cavern of it. I mean, it literally was like the SpongeBob episode of just, but of the Alaskan bullworm, which I was laughing hilariously at. But I loved the visuals of the snow, and I loved just like seeing the way everything was like lit like underground. Like that was all just like very cool. Because of the snow.
It's lit. It's lit. Yeah.
The lighting.
It was lit.
The lighting
The lighting
in
looked
all of it.
phenomenal.
Like I literally don't know, but like I don't know what he's doing, but like Joel Aaron, who's like the lighting designer and like the visual effects like supervisor, like he is like cooking with like the gods. I'm not even kidding. Like not just with gas,
He's
like
cooking.
with the gods. Like the lighting on this show is absolutely incredible. Sorry,
Love
that
it,
was like
clone
the best
humor,
quote I've
sorry.
ever read. When you control the holonet, you control
Information. Does he have the cigarette in that scene? Anyways, Wayne Knight. Love Wayne Knight.
But yes, the lighting in the show has been absolutely incredible. But this one specifically was like so good because it starts from being the nice warm Pabu, and then it's cold on Barton 4. But the entire time, every time you see Crosshair, it gets warmer along the way. And by the time like it's the end of the episode, Crosshair is in warm, like he is home, he is back, and it's just like,
Jesus, Jamie,
I'm done.
Did you write the friggin' episode? How you picking up on all this stuff?
Jeez.
That's what I love about these breakdowns.
Yeah.
Like
so good.
this week, I mean, like I have loved this season so much so far, and like you guys know,
It's
like,
phenomenal.
The
It's
Bad Batch is
up
like
there.
one of my favorite Star Wars things ever. But like this week alone, the amount of pictures I have saved in the last 24 hours has blown the last like 4 episodes out of the water. My storage is full on my phone. I'm deleting pictures just so I can save like memes of like Hunter and Wrecker looking off the cliff.
This is just like
Deleting precious family moments.
But
Just
it's-
pictures
this-
of Bad Batch.
It's
new
so
precious
important
family
to me,
moments.
okay? Hey, that being said, I still am like, you know, connecting with people, but at the end of the day, it's Bad Batch. Like, it is Bad Batch. That's what it is.
No, it's
Anyway.
been such a good season.
Yeah.
And I know Matt's bread and butter is like Jedi and stuff. So like you always think of like Rebels as like, but like I think this is up
Don't
there.
worry.
So 5 episodes in, but I think this is up there with like some of the best animated Star Wars storytelling for a season.
Jedi stuff. This is just as good.
True.
I
I know
love this stuff.
we've got stuff on the horizon, maybe in this show for Jedi stuff, but we'll see what
One thing I really wanted with the tunnels, just staying on the tunnels for a second, is I thought when we were like, we're back on this planet, this is like, we're going to do some mission here, we got to go out. I thought that Hunter and Crosshair were going to go into the tunnels and be underground. And I think this was further away from the base though, and have a similar thing that happened to Crosshair and Mayday, where Hunter steps on a mine and then Crosshair has to help
That would be cool.
Hunter out of like he has to remember what Mayday did. Wait, was
Little
it Mayday?
reversal.
Wait,
Yeah, it was Mayday.
because
It was Mayday.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
And
Mayday
then,
saved
Crosshair
him.
has to do it, and that would have been like the progression of the situation on that.
Yeah,
point.
I mean,
That would be cool too.
this show, I mean, this episode definitely had like that idea that, you know, Crosshair couldn't save Mayday, and now he's returning and he has to save Hunter, and he does. He couldn't save Mayday, but he ends up coming through and saving Hunter. So he gets that kind of redemption. But it would have been cool to see it mirrored more for sure to kind of drive the point home. But I still think it's there. It's just that they weren't fighting any worms. They were fighting the 3 raiders that live on the planet, apparently. And then that's it. That's it for the raiders. There were 3 of them, and then they killed them, and that's it. They're
were out of
done.
there.
There's no more.
the worm got the rest.
What?
Yeah.
That's why it's called Barton 4, because there's
Barton
only 4
4, 'cause
raiders.
there were
And so like
There's 4
that's,
raiders.
each Barton
4
has the number of raiders on it. That's
No, it's
the
actually
category.
it's 4 raiders
You-
named Barton. There's 4 Bartons on Barton
Yeah.
4.
This
You
is
don't want to
hard,
go to
Bart.
Barton 5,000. Oh boy.
No. Too
It's-
many.
They're just all running around yelling, Barton,
Barton.
Barton,
Barton.
Barton.
Did they in the Outpost episode last season and season 2? Did they mention the worm at all? Like, did they ever mention like, oh, these sensors are here to keep the
No.
worm out? Or okay,
I
I couldn't remember.
I don't think so. I think that maybe Mayday may have said something about like the wildlife. But he really just
Oh,
like
yeah.
called
You're right.
attention to like the vultures. That was
Okay.
the big thing.
So they sort of might have
No,
offhanded
you're right.
mentioned that.
He did say the wildlife.
Something
And
like
I
that,
remember
possibly.
I remember kind of thinking that it was like weird to tease like the wildlife and then never show them.
Well, here
But
you go.
because
Big
the
payoff.
episode was so
Hey.
good, I didn't care.
You totally
so,
forgot
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I legitimately totally forgot about it until you just mentioned it. I was like, huh, that is kind of weird. But yeah,
Something not to circle back on this, but something that absolutely like ooh, yeah. Something that absolutely like breaks my heart like about the whole thing with Crosshair and the helmets, as like Hannah mentioned much earlier in this episode, is Crosshair goes like out of his way just to like investigate like what's going on, like still like in the base, like was there anything like left in like what's going on. And Mayday dies like outside, right? So that means at some point in time someone moved all of like the old clone stuff just like into the base and just like tossed it there. And that is just so depressing because like they took the time to just like toss all the gear, but like who knows like what they did with the like the bodies.
they left them to the ice vultures.
Yeah, but
You
they-
have ice
Yeah.
vultures for a
They
reason.
saved the gear and for nothing. And then they just threw it there. And like I think that was like also just like so important that like Hunter just like observed this happening, because it's a big thing of the actions you take are going to be like much louder than like what you actually say conversation wise. Cause like Hunter doesn't know like what is going through Crosshair's mind, because he still doesn't even know how to like approach like talking to him still. But by seeing that Crosshair is going out of his way to pick up a bunch of reg helmets and just like arrange them, Hunter's like, oh my god, I don't know what the serious shit was that he went through, but it was some serious shit. And wow,
Yeah, that's perfect.
like that's
Yeah.
it though. And so he just like walks away like after like seeing Crosshair do that and let him like have his like space, because he's like, okay, something really serious like happened to him here, and like he'll talk when he's ready. And that's exactly how it happened at the end, was Crosshair talked to Hunter when he was ready, and Hunter gave him that space.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a good point.
One thing at the end, which I kind of set myself up for disappointment because I thought that this was what was happening, is that the armor was inside, and then Hunter and Crosshair had shovels. And so I thought maybe they had found this is so morbid. They had found the bodies off screen and they had buried them. And I even went to the thought of they're gonna go full like Clone Wars Season 7 Victory and Death style,
Oh.
where you'll see the mounds where like Crosshair has maybe like buried Mayday and like put his helmet on the mound or something in some sort of fashion. I think I really thought that's why they had shovels, and then someone online said it was like because they were digging out the ship out of the snow, and I'm like, oh, that's probably more practical.
Imagine how long that would have taken.
So digging out the ship probably didn't take that long because they had Batcher first of all.
That's
Batcher
but
just-
and Wreck was
Wrecker.
eating it all too.
Yeah.
exactly. But
You have
oh my
Batcher like
God.
shoveling the snow behind her, and Wrecker just
And
sitting
Wrecker's
behind her
just,
with his mouth open. It's like Patrick with the snowballs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then it's the slow motion. And then he's like,
Hungry hippos.
Yeah.
There you go.
Honestly, Hannah, what you just explained though with the potential of Mayday's helmet just like being as like a memorial, I would anticipate that as like a fanfic in like less than 24 hours posted online. So just
Oh yeah.
that'll probably
sure.
happen.
That'll be some
Oh,
fan
yeah.
art or something.
Just and it'll be great. I can't wait to read it. One other thing I wanted to like circle back on as well, that was a really cool parallel, was after Crosshair saves Hunter by bashing through like the ice and whatnot, in which he wasn't able to save Mayday. It's pretty much like the same spot. They're just chilling there, and like this is like a meme version like of it. Because like you've all seen like the one of like Crosshair saying to Mayday, "You good?" and Mayday's like dead, and he says no. And so now it's the flip side of that. It's like, "You
I've
good?"
never seen that.
Yes, you've never seen that
I've
meme,
never
Matt?
seen that meme. I'm not on clone Twitter.
I'm like personally insulted. Now I need to find it. Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
you gotta
this is
send
like
that.
this is the new one. This is the good one, and it's perfect. And
Positive one.
Yeah.
I like how
With
Batch is not
Batcher.
fully sitting down. Batcher's kind
Yeah.
of like hovering.
Snugged
like,
up
ready to
against
go.
Crosshair.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. That's a good way
Off
to
and
put it.
running.
I loved Batcher barking at the worm as it was going away.
Yeah, once
yeah,
the
I
sensors are
showed
back
you.
on.
Because Batcher probably had no idea what was going on with the sensors, obviously.
No.
So she was like, "Oh,
Obviously.
I scared you off." But yeah,
Clones
I
and
mean,
worms, the immortal enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Forever. R.I.P.
All-
Cut Up.
yeah, that's right.
Oh my god,
And,
yeah.
My favorite clone.
They didn't have
Like,
Rex there
should
to
it be
one shot this
should it
one.
be called like Wormy or something? Wormo
Wormy.
instead
How
of
could
cut up.
you?
Should have been
How,
Wormo.
how could you? How could you say something
Wormo.
so mean? There you
It would
go.
have been like,
As-
it would have
as
been
it was
so
written.
good.
As it was
As it was
written,
written.
Thatcher is the least thought Elgie.
Bye, Jamie. But yeah, we at the end of this
Yeah.
episode, and we're gonna get to our little finale soon in a bit. But the end of this episode, we get Crosshair kind of opening himself up to Hunter, and it's a nice little finale of this episode. Of they were butting heads, then he opened up a little bit, but they still butted heads, and then he opens up to him at the end about how he made some bad choices, and Hunter's like, "Oh, we all do, but we put it in our past and we move on." I don't know how he said it, but basically that. And I thought that was just like a really powerful moment to end it. And then of course it ends one more time with Crosshair looking up at the vulture, and then he's out of there.
The vulture leaves because the vulture's like,
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. See ya. That's it.
What did you do? Absolutely
Something
nothing.
about characters looking at birds in Star Wars is so powerful. Like we have Hera looking up at the birds in the Ryloth episodes, like
Yeah.
with her theme playing. Like that was great.
You had
And,
Vader looking at what's her name?
Yeah, the little convoy, Mariah.
Mariah.
Morai, yeah.
And her just following around Ahsoka everywhere.
We have Porgs.
Mariah Carey.
Yep, you have Porgs. Just in general, anybody looking at Porgs is a big
Yep.
Yeah,
win.
just
Huge win looking at Porgs.
Oh yeah.
Huge win with this episode. Huge win looking at Porgs. But this
Yeah.
episode was great. I have another graphic to pop up, which is
Oh, we got
So-
2 graphics.
character of the week. Last week we kind of went around and chose who was our favorite character of the week from this episode. It can be anyone. There weren't really any like glup shittos in this episode, unless you count like
The
the
worm.
worm.
The worm.
Because it really was. There was no Pabuans running around and stuff like that. AZ was in this episode, but and Gonki. But Hannah, who was your character of the week?
Whoa, look at that graphic.
Look at that graphic.
It's probably gonna be geez, because I did I want to say Crosshair because it's like it was focused on his development and integration back into the Bad Batch, but like each one of the characters had such an interesting role. I actually really loved Echo in this episode. Honestly, I think it might even be Echo because I just really loved his involvement and his dialogue and his response to everything was just really interesting. And it was just cool to see him back with the Batch again as well. I think it was just as much his return almost as well too.
Oh,
So yeah, I think Echo.
we
Yeah.
forgot about that return.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That was the best return.
no.
So many returns.
No, I've got an even better return that I was meant
Whoa.
to mention earlier. The toothpick.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gotta be the best.
Yes!
It's gotta be the best.
There
That's
it
what
is.
That's
it
the return.
That was-
That's the return. Why didn't we think of that?
That was gonna be my
Oh.
closing statement, actually, ladies
Oh,
and gentlemen. But it's all
Oh.
good.
So sorry. Oh,
That is good for that
got the
time.
punchline. Oh man, it's good. It's good.
Jamie, who
Um,
was you the toothpick to your character of the week?
Yep.
No, my character of the week was Crosshair bashing his rifle into the ice really panickedly, and then suddenly he just breaks through. I'm just kidding, that's not a character. Actually, I know Hannah literally just said Echo, and I know that this was Hunter and Crosshair's big episode, and it probably was my favorite time Hunter's ever been on screen ever, and he's my favorite character. But I think that Echo was my character of the week as well, because I love how he was the mediator again between all of them. And even though in his short time of being with the Batch, at the end of the Clone Wars, I want to know like everything that he witnessed, like all of the fights, all of the fights, because like he is like so surprised that like Hunter and Wrecker like aren't like tearing each other's throats out immediately. He's like jabbing at Omega. He's like, oh, there's no blood. This is great. This is a really good sign. And it's just so adorable, honestly. And it was just so good to see him back. And yeah, exactly.
So 2 for Echo.
Yeah.
I think what I should do is at the end of this, or each week, I should keep a tally of who everyone picks as their character of the week. End of the year, end of the season, we'll be like, oh, this person was the most chosen. So
Okay.
we'll see.
The Lisan Al Gaib.
Yep.
The Lisan
This one is Lisan Al Gaib.
Clonid.
Clonid.
Matt, who is your Messiah? Who's your character of the week?
I'm gonna have to go with Echo. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Wrecker. No, Wrecker. As I said at the beginning of this whole discussion, this was Wrecker's episode for me because it's
Do
so
his
funny
voice
that
again.
none of us have picked Crosshair or Hunter or Omega. But this was Wrecker's episode. I loved, like, he just had so many like funny lines and like little personality moments that really like endeared me to him. And the why does it always have to be a giant monster is my favorite. Is definitely like my favorite line in the show so far.
That line there, Salty Sid just commented, but I just thought of a great moment, a great line in the episode that we forgot to mention was as they're coming back, they're like, oh, Echo comes out. He's like, oh, there's no blood this time. That's
what
an
I just
improvement.
said.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we
did?
said
Okay.
that.
I literally just said that.
I apologize.
You
when the
call
host-
your
When the hosts aren't listening.
you can't
Oh, man.
say that Echo is your favorite character and not know that I'm talking about him. Like
Well, this whole time,
but
I'm
me.
panicking, thinking about who I'm gonna choose.
Oh,
But
it's
Jamie,
so good.
Echo is his favorite character because he just echoed you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
There
you
why.
go.
I
There
feel
is
like
an
He's
echo
just
in
impersonating
here.
his
There is
favorite
an echo in
character.
here.
He's
Yeah,
Ah.
that's what it is.
This is why we started pre-planning the shows out, and he's still like doing it last minute. Oh, ho, ho, ho. AJ, who
Wait,
was
are
your
you
character
telling
of the
me you
week?
guys picked these not on the fly?
So my character of the week is I chose Batcher last week, but
Choose her again.
You could choose her
I'm choosing
again.
I'm choosing Batcher again. I'm doing it again. 2 times. She just puts a smile on my face every time. The digging thing was, I don't think that was my highlight of the episode. So maybe someone else said it, but like that was my big takeaway of the episode. That was the thing that made me laugh the most. The stupid scene with the digging and then looking up, like, did I do it well? Like looking for satisfaction or looking for appreciation. But yeah, Batcher once again. Obviously Crosshair was phenomenal. But I feel like last week was more of a big Crosshair growing episode. This was obviously massive, but this was like Crosshair with Hunter and like more together.
Yeah, they stole each other's glory, so neither one of them had
Yeah,
enough
they canceled
to
out.
pass the finish
That's
line.
it though. That's actually it because like
Yeah.
they both like say that to each other because like Crosshair like says to Hunter, "You're just jealous that I'm the one who got her out," and Hunter is like literally just ready to throw hands and like it's perfect.
Crosshair's just like, you're
So
just
good.
jealous that
It's
I was
so
character
good.
of the week on Holland and Marauders. And Hunter is like,
What about this?
Jonathan Nolan! Wait! Oh!
No.
Hey!
uh-oh,
Hey,
oh,
I
why
didn't-
did you put up the Fallout photo?
oh god, oh
Because
god, what have you
I
done?
thought that was the director of Dune for a minute from our
No,
I couldn't
what
tell.
AJ just put on screen was the director of the Fallout series, Jonathan Nolan, which I wasn't going to talk about
Christopher
today, and
Nolan,
I'm
brother.
not going to talk about today, even though I am very excited about it. And half of
Genuine
the stuff in my
accident.
set is Fallout related now, but we'll that's another time, another day. We'll talk about Fallout, not on this show.
So
Whoa,
Yeah. Wow.
everyone that's here now in the chat, you're all amazing. But before we get to our like send off and goodbye, I want to play what we played at the beginning. It's not the long version; it's just the regular one. So here we go.
I can't wait.
Crosshair. Good. Do you know where my microphone is?
yeah, check that box up there.
Cerveza cristal.
There it is. That
Oh
meme
my
is
God.
unreal, and it's been my favorite thing for the last week.
No kidding,
So-
guys. I wake up to at least one Cerveza Crystal meme every day for the past week. He's just
Came
been,
out of
he's just been
nowhere.
rapid firing.
I
Dude,
gotta
it honestly
say-
did. It honestly did.
The actual ad kind of sounds like it's Watto saying it.
Oh, it kind of does.
Yes, it does.
Crystal.
Hey.
No.
Maybe they
Raeside.
secretly hired him. Who knows?
We need a Watto edit of it.
We
We
do.
need to
That's
deep
our next
dive
one.
about this.
Who
Wow.
voiced
Wild.
Watto? Who voiced Watto? I don't know that.
You don't accept gratitude, only Crystal.
It was Hannah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
dude.
God. Dude, how was that not like noticed beforehand? Like, how did people not talk about that?
If you
How
go
are we
on
just
YouTube,
learning about this in
Yeah.
2024, 20
there's
years after it
videos-
happened?
there's videos of it from like 15 years ago that are up. So it's been out there, but it resurfaced.
That's
It's even
crazy.
funnier if you think about that. It's like, oh, 15 years ago, that was like early days of YouTube. So that means that someone literally saw YouTube exists and they're like, I gotta put the Cerveza Cristal like ad from like the Star Wars
Honestly,
thing on YouTube. So like
is that company still around?
it
I
is.
should have done that. I should have looked that
I
up.
beve so.
We should do a taste test. We should get
Oh,
some.
we
should do a
taste
taste
test.
test.
I want
Come
to.
on.
All right.
Sure.
Come on.
I mean, I'm
There-
gonna say
I
it
wonder if-
tastes awful, but I'll do it.
We'll figure it out.
Their sales have probably
Crystal.
skyrocketed.
Dude, honestly,
week.
and they need to do like a Star Wars like thing now. They need
They
to.
won't be
May
allowed.
4th.
They probably got like a
should.
wild like cease and desist, honestly. But
Celebration.
whatever.
Chile 2027.
That's it. Catch us there.
Oh my god.
Crystal.
Wow. Wow. So this has been our discussion for season 3, episode 5, the return for the Bad Batch. Thank you so much for joining us this evening today with us today, Hannah. Where can everybody find you on social media and what are you up to?
Yeah, you can find me at the Raeside over all socials, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're having lots of fun doing pre-shows and discussions of everything Bad Batch going through the week. So it's been amazing. That's pretty much what we're continuing with going forward for the next few weeks, except for playing some Battlefront, original Battlefront next week.
Oh,
That will be
God.
coming up. And I've never played it. I've never played the original. So
I gotta clear my schedule for that.
yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love
Have
it.
fun.
It's so much
It's-
fun.
right.
It's a lot of
It's gonna
fun.
be good. It's
You
gonna be
can
very
you can
good, but
finally
yeah.
you can finally live the just like the simulations memes. So
Yes,
That'd be so
that's what's
exciting.
fun.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Just
no,
like the
I can live
simulation.
now. Yeah, I haven't lived until I've gone through that.
oh my gosh.
I love it.
Thank you guys. Thank you, AJ and Matt, for joining us as per usual. My name has been Jamie. If you've been chatting with us in the chat tonight, hanging out with us live, thank you guys so much. If you've been watching on YouTube afterwards and you made it this far to the end, thank you. Thank you guys so much. If you've been listening to the audio version of this, we have a video version as well. But also thank you. Thank you for listening to the audio version. You can find us ever on social media at Hollow Nut Marauders, and we are on YouTube as well with the same username at Hollow Nut Marauders. So we do our podcast and a bunch of other videos as well. And sometimes some other stuff in between, depending on what it is. And that's that. This is the Hollow Nut Marauders podcast. We'll be back next week. See you guys next time.